I'd like to call your attention this evening. My name is Doug Roberts, and I am one of the moderators for this forum this evening for our District 1 council candidates, whose body Tapley and Mr. Steve Crowe. Before we begin, I'm going to ask you to bow your head and we'll open the word of prayer. Lord, we thank you for this occasion. We thank you for this gathering of concerned citizens here. Thank you for these gentlemen that are willing to represent the constituents in this district for this city. Lord, we thank you for this city, this county, and this state that we live in, and as well for the freedom as a country and as citizens of such to gather in freedom and have forums like this. We ask tonight for wisdom. We ask that you give us discipline. We ask that you give us open minds, open ears to hear what you hear. We thank you for this. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. As you know, this is District 1 City Council candidate forum. We call it a debate, but we don't know that so much of a debate is not a pro and a con approach to things. It's more so a discussion to find out what each of these gentlemen can bring to the table here as our representative, as our city councilman. I'd like to first of all recognize any elected officials that we have here tonight. Mayor Shaw, we thank you for your attendance. Ms. Shaw, Tony Goss, who is District 6. Incumbent councilman, current councilman. Is there anyone that I'm overlooking, an elected official or prominent person of that nature? I don't think so. But thank you, gentlemen, for your presence here this evening. The outline for this evening, we've already tossed a coin, and in that coin, what we've done is we have asked these gentlemen if they'd like to receive or kick off, as it were, for the discussion tonight. The way that this will begin with our opening and closing statements. At the beginning, Mr. Tapley will open, Mr. Crowe following, and in the closing statements for the evening, Mr. Crowe will open with Mr. Tapley following. They will have, each of these gentlemen will have 3 minutes to answer the questions that they're given, as well as 3 minutes of rebuttal in the event that a reference to an event or to the opponent is made and they would like to address that. That's up to them if they would like to do that. Then we'll have closing statements in reverse order. I want to thank Sean Bland for taking the time out of his schedule. He's done a lot of work here in Alex City to try to bring these forums to us publicly, and I want to thank him for the effort and energy that he's put into that. With that being said, I'm going to toss the mic to him. If you have any comments or questions. Okay. First off, we're gonna start with a combined question for you gentlemen. Looks like Mr. Tapley, you'll head off with this. The first question is...
Doug, opening statement.
I'm sorry, my bad. We're doing opening statements first, then we'll do questions. With that, I'm off the stage.
Thank everyone for coming out tonight. Thank those who put this together as always. Thank the community for braving this weather we have out here to show up. I'd like to see more people here, but glad that people chose to be here. But most everybody knows who I am. I'm the current city councilman. I've worked hard for this district. I've always been a reliable person. People depend on. I've always been honest. We've always voted what I thought was best for this community, best for this city. Never anything that on personal agenda. I've been open with anyone who can call me. I've shared knowledge that I'm able to share with you. I've been very responsive to anyone. I'm just asking people to turn out and vote again on August 4th. October 4th, excuse me, for the runoff. Still have a lot to offer to this district. I love this district, and I continue to want to represent this district honestly and faithfully as best I can. Thank you.
My name is Steve Crowe, and for those of you who don't know my name, at the forum last, I introduced myself as a local boy. I was born and raised in Alexander City. My parents live here. I'm fortunate to have my wife of 51 years live here with me. Got 2 daughters, 3 granddaughters, and the apple of my eye is sitting back there somewhere, my 3-year-old. I could go on a laundry list of things that I have been involved in the city. Our local paper mentioned that I'm an activist, and I plead guilty. I've been involved in Chamber of Commerce. I was president. I was the board member of Economic Development Authority. I serve in a number of capacities throughout the community. I won't list all those now. I think those have prepared me for a leadership role in the city. I'm very proud of the fact that I retired from banking after 35 years. 24 years I spent as president and 7 years as chairman of the board of directors. I've made loans to multi-million-dollar companies. I've made loans to small businesses and individuals. And any time that I can help someone, it really makes me feel good about what we do. And I enjoy banking. I really did. I got into this race after a lot of difficulties we've had the last couple of years. And I thought it was time that someone that has some experience in the business community and leadership role. In my banking, I had a number of employees that I had supervised in 4 counties. I had 7 branches to be responsible. I was responsible for budget. The 24 years that I was president, I had to prepare a budget. So I understand the process. So I'm here today to try to convince you to pull that lever or black in that spot that says Steve Crowe. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you coming. John, thank you.
Thank you. Hold on 1 second. Doug's gonna ask you the first question.
Crowe, the first question to start off with for us is, what skills do you bring to the position that will specifically help District 1?
I've answered some of that, I believe, already. But to add to it, I've been involved in the Lions Club for 45 years. I'm served as past president. I'm very proud of the Lions Club, and I'm still active member. The motto of Lions International is "We Serve," and I subscribe to that myself. I've also currently worked part-time at Bradley Funeral Home, and also volunteer at Russell Medical. They don't call it Russell Medical anymore. It's Russell Medical. They got a new logo. I've been doing that for about 5 years. But I said earlier, I had 7 branches in 4 counties. And I had close to 80 to 90 people in a given time. I had to be responsible for a lot of people. I looked at balance sheets, I looked at P&Ls, loan people money. I have dealt with municipalities. I understand the budget process. I've had to do the numbers. I am a person that does not have a problem after educating myself on these, making decisions, whether it's good or bad. Sometimes you have to make those bad decisions. Yes, I fired some people. Defalcation was not a hard thing to do. Defalcation is stealing money. I don't have a problem getting other people to do that. I don't have a problem working with other council people if I'm elected. I don't have a problem working with the mayor. I think I have the communication skills that can help me do the right thing for Alexander City and also District 1. Thank you.
First of all, I'm a child of Christ, so I'm qualified because God uses me. I'm a servant to the community, and that's what I believe most in, serving people. My skills are I'm a manager at the Frontier Standing, oversees over 115 employees. We work budget with a multi-million-dollar company. I'm a realtor. I know how to count contracts. I know how to deal with people professionally. Been in textiles for 31 years, so I'm born and bred as a working class family here in Alexander City. I always believe in honesty, leadership, good character, good morals. Member of the National Realtor Association, pleased to see CMO program, which continual education into city leadership. Trying to think what else I got going on. I've been city council for 4 years, so I know the inside of the city. Do I know everything? No, I don't think anyone does. Pick it up, you learn as you go, and try to gain knowledge and teach day. Try to make the best decision with information provided for you. If you don't know, you ask somebody, if you've been there before. So those are the qualities I bring. Thank you.
All right, Mrs. Tapley, if you'll take this question first. While on the campaign trail, no doubt 3 to 5 issues have been expressed that people have concerns specifically with this district. What are your plans to address those most important issues that were shared with you, and how does that fit your personal vision in District 1?
As stated last night, roads, the big thing, we got going, we passed, added sales tax, kind of improved roads. There was roads paved in this district along other districts. So continue on collecting money, making sure the roads need to be paved. Sidewalk in this district is another issue. I work with a guy here to fix for East Street, get a sidewalk from Stevens School down to North Central, turn that into Randy Thomas. Don't know where we stand with that at this time. But sidewalks, roads, and I guess finance is one of the other things that's been touched on. We're working diligently, cutting our finance, straight the city, working hard to resolve all the issues.
Okay. Mr. Crowe?
I've had several suggestions from my constituents. One of them was the lack of use of pool over here for correct. And we spoke to that previously. Some people rehashed that. I've had some of the constituents talk about their roads. I understand that over in Indian Hills, those roads have been paved over 30 years. I can't speak to that because I haven't been on the ground floor. One of the things that I am concerned about tremendously is one of my constituents says, we got a drug problem on a certain street here in this district. And he is personally working with the local police chief and his department and trying to suppress that. Drugs are bad. They're bad for kids that get involved. Kids that are involved, they result, they could result in incarceration. They could be hurting someone else. Education is paramount. You've got to have kids in school. They got time on their hands. They're gonna do things like vandalize the signs. Y'all take a notice. Signs have been graffiti all over. That's kids got too much time. I would like to, if you can mention, spruce up Cooperette. We need some lights in the men's room. I know I didn't go to that, so we can start. We need some painting over here. One of my constituents is concerned about the landscaping at the park behind it. I think it's all cut down. There's a water leak right behind it. Part of this building is used for community access. County deal, part of it's city, part of it's school system, and nobody knows what's going on. We gotta have some communication somewhere within our government process, if these issues are addressed. I got
Sure.
I'd just like to address the issues that Mr. Crowe brought up as far as our food here. That was mentioned earlier, our food pump that went out here, the motor and all, with the mayor and Scott and Sonny, they all decided that it would be the best interest that the food would not be repaired for next year, because by the time the motor got here, there was only a week left in the season. One of those motors only warranted for 1 year. So the mayor advised, and we agreed with his advice, and we wait until next year before the food got repaired. But in the meantime, the city provided free transportation from Cooper Rec Center to city food. So anyone who want to go to the food, the city provided transportation across back and meet. As far as the signs, they have been addressed. I've called up to work personally several times, make issues about the signs being painted. They're working on those that are graffiti, so they're going to wait till whoever do it, till they catch it before they make a change on the signs.
It's your time. Go ahead.
Both of you touched a little bit on communication, and I think it's an important part of what an elected official does. What would be your plans and some of the ways that you would try to communicate and get information out to your constituents? I mean, as a newspaper, we hear that all the time. I didn't know that was going on, and we fight it and try to get things on calendar items. But what are some of the tools that you would use to communicate back with your constituents?
My campaign primarily has been knocking on doors and talking to people. I think I have fairly good communication skills, and I'm getting feedback from folks. I listen, believe it or not, I will listen. But I have a suggestion. One of the concerns of constituents is the diversity in our city hall. Not in the local staff, but diversity in city hall. First of all, a councilman is not hired people. That's the mayor's job. But a councilman can encourage. I stand on my record of being diversified in my banking career. I had a black gentleman as main office manager, one of my good friends now. And it can be accomplished. Now, a suggestion for communicating those needs in the city hall. I would suggest, this is an idea only. People don't necessarily go to city hall unless they're going to pay their utility bill, this kind of thing. Some of them mail in. But if it's feasible, we could post that on a sheet of paper, stuff it in your utility bill, and let them know the jobs that are available and things going on within the city. That's just an idea. That'd be an effective communication means I would believe.
Mr. Tapley?
Well, the question was get the communication out to this district. A lot of people in District 1 on this side of this doesn't have internet, so internet is kind of the way to go. By mouth, going door to door, telling someone and getting them to tell someone else is the best way to get communication across over here. Facebook and internet is fine. Posting something here to the Rec Center or City Hall. The newspaper's been a good thing to go by. That's the best way to get communication out in this district. Thank you.
Okay, next question.
The next question is, it kind of deals with a little bit about the process that, how you make up your mind, and you touched on a little bit in your opening, Mr. Crowe did too, about weighing information, educating yourself on things. But what are some of the things that you would use through the process to make a decision on how you vote on items that come before the council?
First off, it's a controversial issue. I always pray first, because I want to make sure I make the right decision. The second thing is I'll call the department head and get advice, try to learn more about what's going on, contact the mayor to find out exactly what this is about. If I don't understand it, research it a little bit more to educate myself, so when I do make a decision, it's from the heart and what I think is best for the city.
There's an issue that comes up, first of all, with research that issue. I would talk with the mayor. I would not go to the department head, the mayor is executive officer, and that's his responsibility. He's the leader. I would think that talking with the mayor and other council people, and, you know, if an employee at the city would like to talk to me if I'm elected, I certainly would not discourage it, but they would need to go through the proper channel. I believe in that. That's the way I believed when I was in banking. But sometimes that doesn't happen. One of my personal goals, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit, Mr. Steve. If I'm elected, I promise you one goal that I've got, and that is to regain the trust of the city employees. Everyone here knows about the sick call, it's called in. Something's wrong with it. I have been told by employees, I hate coming to work. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to change that. And if elected, I promise you, I will do everything I can to change that very thing.
Is that both of them? Mr. Crowe, one of the questions that came up was, what are some of the personal pet projects you would have if you became a city council person?
I would personally try to talk to anybody in authority. It probably has to be through the loom, but I would encourage the mayor to put some kind of pressure on them to clean up the Russell complex. We're out here, and I've been a part of that economic development process. You can't invite somebody to town and show them that rubbish out there. Bobby Six cleaned up that old #1 area. Very attractive. Got some country growth, but that's normal right here. But we've got to put pressure on somebody to clean that place up. Now, what that takes, I don't know, but I'll be glad to research it and try to find out. There ought to be some ordinance somewhere, if not, we could adopt one. Tell those folks to get their act together, or else, fine. They're hurting us right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Tapley. What are some of the personal pet projects you would like to see done in District 1?
I would like to see the sidewalk from Stevens School down to, North Central get approved through some kind of grant. I'm not a grant writer, so I definitely have to depend on someone else to do that, over the rain time, so whoever will fill up next year to get that done, and to get the signs in place over here that we mentioned earlier, just to spruce up District 1, so District 1 is somewhere where everyone's proud to live in. I'm proud to be a resident of District 1, and I tell everyone, District 1 is a great place to live. But just making sure that District 1 has the tools, the facilities they need, that's the biggest thing this community needs.
Okay.
Have any of your positions on issues changed since being on the campaign trail, and if so, what are they?
I think the biggest thing for District 1 that everyone council can do is, rather easy to get in touch with, somebody that really cares about what's going on, somebody that they connect with, that they feel confident to make a decision based on good judgment, who is honest, who's someone they can reach out to, speak with. Feel free to call anytime, any hour of the night. Those are what I think is best.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Doc, I couldn't hear you.
I repeat that question. Have any of your positions on issues changed since being on the campaign trail, and if so, what are they?
Key issue.
No. Have any of your positions on issues changed since being on the campaign trail, and if so, what are they?
I can't say that anything has changed, right now. I'm hopeful that it do. I'm proud to live in District 1. I'm proud to be from Kansas City, but we've got to do better. We've got to change our publicity the way it is right now. I had some friends come through town and have lunch with me not long ago, and the first thing they were talking about is the difficulties that's going on in Kansas City. We've got to change it. We've got to change it for the positive. I want Kansas City to be what it used to be. We can't dwell on those jobs are gone, but we have people that are looking at Kansas City as a place to do their business. They come and they don't announce themselves. They go to breakfast with people, they go to a coffee shop, all these kind of things, and they listen. We've got to educate our people, talk positively about Kansas City. Otherwise, we'll be beating our heads against the wall. Again, I want something to be positive with my district and also Kansas City. I want my grandchildren to grow up in Kansas City they can be very proud of.
Obviously, from a lot of things have gone on from the last forum that we had. All of you mentioned that the finance issues that the city's facing is something that has to be solved. Whether that'll be solved by the time the new council comes in or not still kind of remains to be seen. Today we've learned that, we spent about $160,000 before we've even got the last two audits done. What do you see, short of an immediate change, how do how will the council dig through that and make some changes that would be able to address that situation?
That's a difficult question. I think it's gonna take unity as dedicated to the job, I think, and cooperating and working with our mayor. He's, again, I would be only one vote. But I think if you get some people with some financial backing in there and some financial experience, we can resolve some problems. Now, ways to do so, I'm not at liberty to say, but, you know, we've had an issue with our financial officer. I don't know what the results are gonna be of that, but it's gotta be dealt with. It's gone on too long. We're paying over $200,000, and the mayor can correct me on that, the auditor. I don't think we got our money's worth. I'd be an advocate to say, wait a minute, you've been here, how long, 6 months or more? And you're charging us $200,000? Something wrong with that picture.
That is a difficult question there. I know that when our current financial officer got hired, the city was already 2 years behind on budgets. We have spent $160,000 of the city's money trying to get everything straightened out. I know the $1.3 million that was found that was missing was back before our current CFO got hired. So there's been a lot of research and digging, trying to get us up to where we should be. And I would say we need to continue the path, so whoever the next mayor or the next council will be able to come in with a clean slate. I know it's been mentioned several times about a forensic audit, but that's what it takes to get us where we need to be. I said that's what needs to be done.
This is something you might have already dealt with, and since you've already been on the council, but I think it's a good question for both of you. The city council is responsible for hiring or appointing 5 pretty key people who lead the city. City clerk, police chief, fire chief, and the chief financial officer, as you mentioned earlier. What would you do, and what thought process and what ways would you go to evaluate what's there and to then make a decision on which direction you go on those key positions?
Evaluate the production and progress we've made so far with those in leadership positions. If they haven't done what it's called to be done, then they should be reappointed. Now, there's one thing this council has done is really diversified the appointed positions that we have. We hired the first minority police chief here in town. Our financial officer has to be a female, and also our fire chief. So this council has been open-minded to diversify our city as well as the school board. We've diversified our school board greatly compared to what it was when we was first elected. So just continue to evaluate the job of the ones who've done since I've been in office, and just see what needs to be done from there.
Obviously, I haven't been present in all of the city council meetings. I only read in the papers. But what I read in the papers is unacceptable for our city government. If the mayor fires somebody, I think the council ought to go along with it. He's got his reasons. I have no doubt that we're going to end up in a lawsuit anyway, regardless. But if you can't work with the mayor, you need to. That's what I think. Now, as far as how to deal with it, if I'm lucky enough to be elected, I think that position will be dealt with very swiftly. I have no idea whether we'll have a budget ready for the next group coming in. I hope so. But one thing that I'm going to take a little liberty on, something that bothers me more than anything about our finances. Our bonds have been downgraded already, and that's how we borrow money in the city. Well, what does that do? That means you can't borrow money from anybody. You haven't had the last 2 audits. So if we get in a tight, and that's very possible, we've got to clean things up financially so we can borrow money, go on the open market. I don't know of investment banker that would even touch our bonds. There's no way. And I know a lot of investment bankers. But I don't believe there's one in this country that would touch our bonds in the situation we got right now.
Sure.
Mr. Crowe is correct. The mayor cannot fire our city financial officer. Only the city council can. The previous 3 times he has fired, which is not the proper procedure. The proper procedure is to suspend pending hearing. And I cannot oppose something that is done incorrectly.
Okay. One moment. All right. One of the things that has come up in the last few months has been the city's public image. If you were reelected or elected, what are some things that you feel like you can do to help improve that image, both on a local and in some cases with us, national and global situation, to kind of help either improve or be an ambassador for the city in a better way? Wait a minute.
Yeah, Mr. Crowe.
Was it Mr.? Yeah.
You want
Mr.
me to
Crowe.
go?
Yeah.
We've already heard enough about the problems that we're experiencing. I don't know what the answer is, but I would endeavor to try to find answers. Our image right now is very bad. I mentioned that, talking about the bonds, so forth. We're national news. That's not a good place to be. It's a good place when you're bringing in new industry, but not the way we got it now. I know people throughout the state of Alabama, and I would work very hard to make contacts with those individuals, to try our best, and it's going to take a lot of try, to bring new jobs here. And we don't need just minimum wage jobs. We need smaller businesses, diversify. I am concerned, and I know this is a negative, and I'm really not that negative. I'm concerned that we're putting all our eggs in one basket again. We did with Russell, and look what happened. We're putting everything in the parts supplies. Those people enjoy tax abatements, and when those run out, what are they going to do? They're going to stay? I don't know. I don't have that answer. But it is a concern. But if we'll attract some small businesses that will pay good, and that's going to be high tech stuff, that'll pay $15, $20 an hour, even more, we'll be better off. Because losing 50 jobs is not like losing 8,000. That's what we did with Russell. Thank you.
I think first of all, just continue to work with the mayor, with the council, put off a good image that we're all working together for the betterment of Alexander City. We are currently negotiating with a business coming here that is not automotive. There's 3 companies within one that's going to locate here. We don't dictate the jobs that come here. The EDA, the chamber, they're the ones that recruit business. We just are here for support, to listen to what is advised to us, to gather a package up and offer to those companies to get here. Sure, we'd like higher paying jobs, but jobs are better than no jobs at all. And anytime you recruit business to a new area, that brings a positive light to your city. It shows that people want to relocate here. If we can get people working again, get their incomes up, then that's going to bring a positive light into our town, because more people are going to want to be here. Our tax revenue increases, and then the city can do more for the citizens who pay the taxes and expect more out of the city.
You let me have a rebuttal now?
Yeah.
I'm going to borrow from one of our constituents in District 1, and he's got a very good idea. Let me share it with you about building Alexander City up. We have one of the best in the Southeast, and probably most of the country, sports. Charles E. Bailey Sports Club. We're not utilizing that enough. And this comes from my constituent. If we go back several years to Pop Warner football, look at what brought money into our community. Kids, parents, they stayed at motels, they bought fuel, they bought food. That is a big enhancement. We've got to utilize the lake with bass tournaments. That brings money into our community so we can do what we need for our districts, what we can do for our community. I just had to bring that point up. I almost forgot about it, but he is right. We could have baseball tournaments out there and look at what money would be brought in. I'd love for us to get the Pop Warner back again because we had celebrities that came to town. People came from all around. And when they come to visit us in Alex City, they're going to spend their money. I'll give you another little success
Thank you,
story.
Mr. Crowe. You get a minute, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Tapley, I'm gonna let you start with some of the questions from people who have brought some questions in for us. The first question is, in canvassing the neighborhood, did you notice that there are 15 or more stop signs in the district with words and MOB and curse words? How can you as a council help get them repaired and get involved with the community to prevent this behavior again?
That behavior starts at home with the parents, making sure their children know right from wrong. So I cannot go in that home and tell a child how they should act. That should be taught at home. The child should be raised properly. You cannot control what a child does. The city is working to get those signs painted and repaired. They have been made aware of it numerous times by me, called, and also by someone else in the district is called and let them know as well. So just making sure the parents take responsibility of their children to hold them accountable for their actions. That's the only way you can stop that type and get the kids involved in the community so they'll have other things to do that they enjoy instead of out to vandalizing somebody's property or the city's property.
Okay, Mr. Crowe?
I agree with Bobby wholeheartedly. The problems are dealt with at home first. You got to educate the parents. These kids have got too much time on their hands if they're vandalizing. Another place they can also go is to get the moral responsibility in their community church. Get them in Sunday school. Get them in Bible study. Get them engaged. We have volunteers from high school at the Russell Medical that they get credits for volunteering. And I'm very proud of those kids that we've got going. And they're connected. They're learning how to deal with people. They're getting an education there. But again, Bobby is absolutely correct. You got to start at the home. Thank you.
Mr. Crowe, you get the second. Next question. Next question from our audience is, are you willing to see to the city having more diversity in city jobs and employees?
Again, I have nothing against that. I mentioned earlier that I hired a number of minorities while I was president of the bank. Again, I'll tell you that it's the mayor's job to do the hiring. Now, we appoint 6 people. I hate to differ with you, Mitch, but we appoint city clerk, financial officer, we appoint the city attorney, the city judge, we appoint the fire chief and the police chief. So any diversity, I would not be against it. I would encourage it. But to actually do the hiring, the city council doesn't do those hirings. I mentioned earlier about putting a notice, just one little simple piece of paper in your utility bill, for job openings, and other information you want to get out there.
Okay.
I think my record speaks for itself on the appointed job we are, that I believe in diversifying our city employees. Yes, I agree we need more diversity in that, but it's not the mayor's personal job to hire everybody that comes in here. The mayor depends on his department heads and the personnel manager to make sure the quotas are made. So, we can't put that on the mayor. It's not his fault. We just need to make sure that it's not the cousin, friend, brother that gets hired. We didn't make sure it's the most qualified person that gets hired, no matter what color it is. So, like I said, we can't put that blame on the mayor. Thank you.
Okay, you get the next.
Madam Rebuttal.
Sure.
Thank you for that. I know the mayor doesn't do personally hire everybody. I didn't personally hire everybody in my 35 years back, in my 24 years as CEO. But I approved everybody that was hired. And I interviewed everyone that was hired under my direction. I was the CEO. The buck stopped here. The buck stops with the mayor. He's the chief executive officer. He can encourage, he can talk to department heads, just like I did. And I want to tell you a little something about me. Every new employee that came in my office, and they were recommended by the department head, I tell them this one thing, and I know you're not supposed to do it in business, but I did. You got three things you got to do. You got to have the right relationship with God Almighty. You got to have the right relationship with your family, and then the job. That's how it happens.
I think Mr. Tapley is next. Mr. Tapley, since Cooper Rec Center, Community Center, and Charles E. Bailey Sportsplex are under the same umbrella, Alexander City Parks and Recreation, how can or will you as a council person encourage promotion and treat both areas with quality and respect?
I actually have some notes on the Cooper Rec Center I want to share.
Okay.
Currently, Cooper Rec Center, they host the youth basketball, track. They had 2 state winners this year, volleyball and softball for the youth. For the adults, they have basketball, softball, and volleyball. They have mentors over here, the students for the GO, what they call swag. There's 25 kids that come to that, they're grades 9 through 12. They have different motivated speakers. Each week they have 2 spiritual advisors and 5 mentors, and they meet every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The pool will be open next year, because I will fund to make sure this pool is available for the District 1. The new items, they got the basketball crank goes here in the gym for the lower goes for the kids. They painted the bleachers at the softball field, and they added tops in the dugouts. The new scoreboard here in the gym. The computer lab has been redone with the help of T.C. Coley, and the MLK basketball tournament is held every January over here. The community meet and greet day held in August will be an annual event, which I attended this year, and they have a Christmas basketball tournament. There's a lot that goes on over here at Cooper Rec that most people don't realize, and this is a great place, and it is the heart of District 1 for this community. There's a lot that goes on over at the Sportsplex with the basketball, soccer, archery, frisbee, golf, rodeo. There's a lot of things that goes on over there. Just because it's on this place they can post it, but there's a lot of things here, and we're always open to suggestions of what could help improve the community and the environment here in District 1.
Okay. Mr. Crowe?
As far as District 1 is concerned, I'm at a disadvantage because I haven't been a member of the city council for the last 4 years. So I can't speak to the needs, but I can tell you, if elected, I can get well acquainted. And I would ask for input from those constituents here and out that are not here. But I would like to address something that's probably going to be controversial. I think we need to get the white community to come here more. It's time, and it's past time, that we have unity in Alexander City. We've got to come together as a community. It's not them and us, it is us. And us means the black community and the white community. Now, what does it take to do that? It takes shaking hands, asking them questions, inviting them to your church. We have blacks in our church. Very proud of it. We have an early learning center. We have black children. That is one of our callings. And until we can come together and love each other and encourage each other, it's going to stay divided. That is my view.
Mr. Crowe? Should you get elected, what city responsibility would you like to direct? And what problems do you see that may be needed as far as addressing some of the programs for improvement in that department? The different committees, that's correct, sir.
If elected, I think I'd probably be tagged with the financial side. I've got my biggest experience there. And I would work with whoever is sitting there in the city council and also the mayor to try to solve issues that are well past due. And I would work diligently to do that, and hopefully we can resolve the issues that are at hand. Thank you.
Mr. Tapley?
I'm chairperson of the public safety, and that's dear to my heart because I consider myself as a servant to the community, and I'd like to stay involved with the police and fire because that's what they are. They're servants to this community to protect and serve, and that's what we need is in this city is people who really care about the city, who care about the needs of others, and who is there to serve.
One of the things that you both touched on and is the unity and bringing people together and things like that. What are some things that you could do to promote that kind of unity as far as the city government? I'm talking about events that would bring people to Cooper of all walks of life. What are some things that you think the city could do or a city council member could do to help promote those kinds of things to bring, the whole city here, or in vice versa, and get those things there? What are some of the things you think you can do to do that?
I think one of those things I was a part of here back in August was the meet and greet with city officials. The mayor and I showed up to meet the community, to let them know who their community leaders are, along with the police officers, state trooper, county, and city. Showed up to show support for the community. It was advertised greatly. I wanted as many people, didn't matter where you lived in, to come here. And that's what I'd like to see, and I'll continue to partner with to bring over here to the community so people know who the leaders are.
Okay, Mr. Crowe?
One of the best things I know is to invite people over here to tournaments. We're standing in one of the best spots. And I noticed on the walls that we've got guys that come over on a regular basis to play basketball. Why not have tournaments? Why not have a job fair over here like they have in other places? I think we've got to communicate with the Chamber of Commerce who does those things and have them get connected with Cooper Ray and this part of the community in District 1. I think that's essential. Thank you.
Mr. Crowe?
Mr. Crowe, I think you're next. Currently, the enrollment of Central Alabama Community College is very low compared to previous years. What role, if any, do you see the city government playing in improving or increasing this?
How about run that by me one more time?
Currently, the enrollment of Central Alabama Community College is very low compared to previous years. What role, if any, do you see the city government playing in improving and increasing this?
Having my daughter work out there, I'm hesitant to offer any suggestions, but the city is here to support education. I don't know what action we might take to help the enrollment. We already have Gateway, and that's a wonderful program. But we've got to get the word out somehow. Now, I think that it's going to be on the shoulders of CACC. I think they're going to have to be the front runners on that. I don't know that the city can do anything further. Support them, which we have done over the years. We have our economic development out there. Don McClellan and his group do a fine job. But what it will take to increase the role, there's so many competitors. You got Southern Union, and most of you already know that the combination, that is combining the colleges, has been put on hold. Why? I don't know. But they've had some issues out there, and that may be why. But for the city, I don't know what else we can do.
Mr. Tapley?
The city doesn't have any authority at CACC. The only thing I think they can do is the city just encourage their employees to send your children out in CAC, to educate them, to let them know the gateway is there for everyone who graduates from Russell High School, that is free, to make sure that the community leaders in all districts know that, hey, educate your parents if they're not aware of it. There are deadlines to fill out. Mr. Burton out at the high school does a great job of getting information out there, but sometimes it doesn't reach home. And without a parent there to make sure that those deadlines are met, a lot of people do fall through the cracks. So I think just educating the parents here in Alexander City would be the only thing the city could do, just make sure the parents know and that the employees of the city know.
All right, we thank both of you gentlemen. That will close our questions for the evening. With that being said, I'd like to thank you for your presence here. We will go into our closing statements, and based on the coin toss at the beginning, we'll lead off with Mr. Crowe. You have 3 minutes, and then we'll follow with Mr. Tapley for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Doctor. I stand on my credentials and my experience. I believe that I have the experience, the training, that can lead our city into the next 4 years. I mentioned earlier that I was involved in a lot of community activities, and that's where you learn about the community. That's where I learned about the community. Over the years, I've served in Christian Crisis Center. I've been junior achievement. I've been involved in numerous RSVP. There's no better place to be than working and giving of your time to Alexander City. Yes, I have done budgets, and I have dealt with people, I have dealt with employees, I've dealt with CEOs, I've dealt with sole proprietorship, partnerships. I've loaned a lot of money, and for the most part, it's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in Alexander City. I ask you for your vote and your support, because I believe I can make a difference in Alexander City government and Alexander City per se. And I think with your prayers, we can bring this city back to where it used to be. Thank you for coming tonight. God bless you.
See, I started my walk here in the city council road 8 years ago when I first walked these streets and knocked on every door. My son was 12 years old and he walked with me the first time around. Met a lot of good people during that time. 8 years later, I ran again, knocked on those same doors, every door in the district. In the last 4 years, I consider most of the people in this district family because I've grown that close to them, that I don't look at them as just constituents of District 1. I look at them as family, and I hold family dear to my heart. I'm going to continue to serve this district honestly, with integrity, in good faith, make decisions based on what God leads me to vote on what's best for the city, as I've stated numerous times. I don't have my own agenda. My agenda is to make sure District 1 is taken care of and the city moves forward. Just ask you to turn out October the 4th and vote for Bobby Tapley, City Council. Thank you.
Why don't we give both of these candidates a hand? One of the main things that we tried to do as Centrist of Alabama and Alexander City Promise was to try and educate the public as to what the candidates believed in, what they thought, and to give the voters more information about the person that they're voting on. Last night we did District 2, tonight we're doing District 1. We wanted to do the mayors, we were not able to get anything on that. But the bottom line is, we wanted to make sure that people, when they filled in the spot on the ballot, that they felt comfortable for who they were voting for. I get to do the thank you, so if you bear with me for just a moment. Both candidates came through right after the election, agreed to do this, and that says a lot about their desire to be open and honest with the public. These were not easy questions, as you can see. especially the ones from the community, and to come up and not have the questions and be able to articulate to you how they would try and vote on different issues and what they feel is a testament to how they're dedicated to this district. So thank you to both of you for at least agreeing to do this. The next thing is the individuals that have helped me put this on, because I'm telling you, I don't know how it actually came about. Jeff Kirk has stuff going on around here that I don't even know how to explain to you electronically, but I wanted to thank him and Wise Point for backing me for the last few live streams. What you don't know, or some of you know, we're actually live streaming this, and there have been several people who have been watching not only here, but on YouTube. And last night's viewing came to about 109 so far today. So there are a lot of people interested in knowing what the candidates have to say. I also want to say thank you to Cooper Rick and Mike and his staff, because this is a great venue for this type of situation. I also want to thank my buddy Doug Roberts, because Dr. Doug, as some people say, for being a great co-host for many years, but also volunteering to MC tonight, and also Mitch Sneed for helping formulate some of the questions and kind of being my check to make sure that we were fair and honest for both candidates tonight. Once again, I want to thank you, because there are a lot of you that have been watching, monitoring, and keeping up with what was going on. We will have some election night coverage on October the 4th, and we have a plan to try and get you information as soon as it is posted at the different districts. So you'll be able to see the information in some cases even before City Hall gets it. So those are our plans. Once again, thank you for coming tonight, and we hope to have more events and more interviews over the next year. At this point, we'll have Doug close us out with a prayer, and you're dismissed.
Let's close with prayer. Lord, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for the wisdom, Lord, for the insight that we've gathered here. Please give everyone safety as they travel home this evening. We ask this in your name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Mitch, good to see you. You too, Mitch. Good job, dude. You like me too.